I hope you're enjoying a wonderful summer here in Colorado. I'm Shannon Lukens with this week's report on Colorado Parks and Wildlife, reporting from Steamboat Springs on my back porch for Mountain TV. Today we are talking about bears again. Now this is a big issue, especially in our mountain towns. Here in Steamboat Springs, we even have a group called Keep Bears Wild Steamboat, constantly educating the community on how to live with bears. Bears can get into trash cans, which is why our trash cans are not allowed to be put out the night before, and they have to be locked. Bears can get into homes through open doors and windows and garage doors, and they love to get into cars here in Steamboat Springs, especially Subarus. They know how to open doors. Here is more on bears from District Wildlife Manager David Rehaksuma, who's up at the Dry Lake Campground on Buffalo Pass.
I'm David Rehaksuma with Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and it is summertime up here in Steamboat Springs. So I'm here to talk to you today about black bears, be it in the campgrounds, in your neighborhoods. We have nearly 20,000 of them in the state, so there's a good chance that you're going to run into one, again, either at home or out here in the wild. So the first thing that you can do is to make sure that you're not doing anything to attract these bears. If you're at a campsite, making sure that you're using bear boxes or keeping your food locked away is going to be one of the best ways to prevent that bear from being interested in your campsite. Here in Steamboat, we've got plenty of bears coming through town, and it is a good friendly town, so a lot of people don't lock their cars or they'll leave their windows open because we're having a good hot streak here in the summertime. But regardless, if you don't want bears in your house, which we absolutely do not want, the best thing that you can do is to prevent it by keeping those doors locked, keeping your windows shut, and again, removing those attractants. And what we do see is bears, they don't like to go straight for human food if they haven't had that exposure. And what happens is a spectrum that has a progression from bears being pretty scared of people to maybe smelling food around people and then going for it after they've had the people leave. But then, you know, that creates a tolerance, and that tolerance will then make them more comfortable getting into more trouble, going into cars, going into garages. And once they've been rewarded for that, that's when they're going to start getting into houses. And either out here in the woods or at home, if we have a bear that's that comfortable around people, that's going to be a huge safety issue. For the most part, our bears are timid, they're wary of people, and if you are out in the woods and you see one, as long as you're keeping a safe distance, then it's probably fine that you can observe them. If that animal is doing anything like approaching you, that's an animal that doesn't necessarily have that fear. Now what we do know is that those bears will, if they are going to be aggressive in that manner, they'll probably do what's called a bluff charge. So they will run at you to try and get you to run away, to kind of admit that, yeah, they don't have to be afraid of you. So if you are in that instance where a bear is interested in you, standing your ground, making sure that that bear knows that you're not something to mess with by, again, being loud, maybe throwing things, is going to be a good way to deal with that conflict, either in a neighborhood or out here in the wild. So we've got all sorts of different tools that you can use to deal with a bear conflict if you do run into one, but ultimately the best thing that we can do is to prevent it.
So be aware of bears and be careful. And you'll find much more information on the Colorado Parks and Wildlife website. I'm Shannon Lukens reporting for Mountain TV.